All right, we're here. All right, what's up, everybody? Hello, 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 hello. All right, let's see. What do we have online now? All right, I see people tuning in. Good evening, good evening, good evening from wherever you're tuning in from. Uh, Hope you guys can see us, you can hear us properly. Hi, Stanley. Uh, okay. Yeah, I can see all the comments coming in. Hi Stanley. Hi Isaiah Welt. Is this Isaiah Welt? Hi. Hi Nonso. Hey everybody. What's going on? From Protacots, okay? Alright, they said they can hear us. Can you guys hear Itunue? Hi T, can you speak?
Hi everyone, good evening.
Yes, sir. Alright. So we got people tuning in. Let's just pray before we get started. Father, we thank you. We give you praise for this opportunity to share some of the wisdom and the knowledge you've given unto us. We pray that even through this conversation, there shall be liberation, there shall be wisdom passed, there shall be knowledge distributed, and the people of God shall be blessed even through these conversations. In the name of Jesus, we pray that you will use this as an opportunity to open our eyes into different opportunities that you want us to go into as individuals, as groups, as ministers, as minstrels, as whatever it is you've called each of us to do. Pray that you use this avenue as a privilege to open our eyes to different opportunities available to your children, oh God. In the name of Jesus, we've prayed. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. See a lot of people tuning in from Kenya. Hello.
Yeah.
Abuja. Hello, 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 hello. Uh, Someone said I should close my eyes. My eyes were closed now. All right, all right, all right. We're here. I am here with my brother, Haiti.
Yes,
Itunue. I don't know. For
sir.
some of you who don't know this man, I don't know where you've been. So, IT, please introduce yourself. Tell us about you, and
Okay.
give us
Um
a little bit of expo.
all right. Hi guys, good evening or good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Good day. My name is Itunu. I'm a drummer, recording drummer. I own a studio. I'm also an audio mixing engineer. I'm also a music producer. And I'm a father, I'm a husband, father of two boys.
Husband of one.
Husband of one. And yeah, I'm a Christian. I love God and I love people. So that's basically who I am
Yes,
in a
sir.
nutshell.
Yeah. Uh on Monday, I reached out to IT and I was like, we need to do this and we need to discuss about this. And I believe you were someone that, you know, I believe you can speak expressly on this subject because God has been helping you so much. Some of the things you've been doing, massive, amazing work you've been doing.
Thank you.
You've been a visionary of, uh, you know, Epoch House. God in this music. I see all the work you do. Sounds from Zion as well. I see all of
Yeah.
that. And you've been doing all of this work, and yeah, I just and you're doing this work from a location that I know that if you're to depend on church money, that's not
Exactly.
gonna work. It's not possible. The things you're doing, that people that are even in like living in main cities like Abuja, Lagos, and whatnot, they are not doing some of the things you're doing. God has really been gracious and been helping you in this area. And I know that there's no way you're doing this by using church salary in a place from, Kwara State, Ilorin. It's not possible. Okay. So I'm from Ogumosho. Ilorin is our neighbor. So I have an idea
Yeah.
that there's no way, you hone this kind of studio. Uh, there's a video online that someone did a video about a studio tour of your studio one time ago, maybe about 7 months ago. I'm not sure, maybe 3 months ago, right? Did a video tour of your studio and all the gadgets and all the gears in that studio. The things you have in those studios, it's not possible that you invested in that by using, 50,000 naira salary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This microphone that we are looking
Uh,
at alone, this microphone in front of you alone is 1 year salary.
hmm.
It's one
I
year
know,
salary.
right?
You understand what I'm saying? So the things that God has
Yeah.
been helping you to do, there's no way you're doing it by by depending on church salary. So one of the things we want to talk about today is, and the subject has been very clear, right? We just want to like discuss about opportunities and potentials that are available for musicians to realize some financial income and see financial income beyond the church. We all have been, seeing and hearing about some of the things going on, and we want to make sure that let's just educate ourselves. What are the things possible? What are the things available? What can we do? What can we do to educate ourselves and, create a better lives for ourselves and all of those? And I believe you're one of the people that can speak expressly on this subject, especially for all of our brothers from all over the world, or even in particular Africa, because let's talk it. Let's just say the truth. Some of these discussion that has been going on, it's
Hmm.
mainly cultural to an extent. It's mainly cultural
To a very large extent.
to a
That is
very large
correct.
extent, which is around Africa. Some of this discussion is coming from within Africa, which is okay. Some of those discussion they don't even have those discussion in North America or in some other location. And if you have those discussion in North America, it is probably still coming from people who came from Africa and now in North America. But again,
Yeah.
discussion for another time. So we want to
Yeah.
help ourselves as Africans. How can we realize financial opportunities and financial income by using our gift in other areas outside of church? So, IT, take it away. Let's get
Okay.
started.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for this platform. I mean, I've been a part of some of the conversations you've had on this platform, and they've been enlightening. You've been shining light into dark areas, and I'm really grateful to God for you. Thank
Thank
you
you, sir.
for taking out time to do this. I know you live in a country where everything is fast paced, everybody's busy, but you decided to do this and give back to the community, especially the community back home in Africa, in Nigeria. So thank you so much, and
Thank you,
thank you for
sir.
having me on this platform. I want to first issue a disclaimer that um, I don't have a conventional way of thinking. So some of my ideologies might be strange to some people. Some people might not really agree with them. That's number one disclaimer. The second disclaimer I want to share is that all fingers are not equal.
Mm,
Um, we are all different. There is no two human beings that are the same, because we have different exposures, different experiences, we have different knowledge level base, we have different emotional build-ups, so all these things will come to play when you begin to apply some of the things that somebody else is talking about. What
Mm.
I'm trying to say is that my story might not necessarily work directly for you, but what I want you to get from this will be the principles at work. The
Mm.
principles at work. Um, the reason why I mentioned that second point is what I am exposed to right now, what many of us are exposed to right now, is not all that we ever be.
Yeah.
There will always be something new that will come up. So, if you want that principle, you'll be able to maximize other new things that come up that can be beneficial to you. And finally, my third disclaimer
Yeah.
is that I'm a very real person. So I may
Mm.
not be your conventional speaker. I'm down to earth. I'm very real. So I will advise you just take me like that. All right.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to tell you my story. Maybe that will help
Okay.
to start from there. And I'm going to tell you two aspects of my story
Hmm.
and how both of them eventually came together to push me to where I am right now.
Mm.
So I grew up under a CSC. I was born in a CSC house, for those that CSC midwifery house. So I grew up in that setting. My dad is a pastor under
You
the
don't know
Christ
the meaning
Apostolic Church.
Christ Apostolic Church.
Yeah, Christ
Yeah.
Apostolic Church. He worked with the Obada race and the like.
Mm.
So I grew up in that kind of setting, and we didn't really have a lot of finances. It was very humble background. I was the last of my mom, and then while we were growing up in church and my talents were discovered, we were taught
Mm.
we were taught that as a Christian that is talented, that talent is solely for the purpose of, no, this is where they teach it,
Mm.
that the talent is for God. And the only way you can use your talent for God is inside church.
Mm.
So I grew up with the mentality that I cannot express my talent outside of church and still remain a Christian.
Mm. Mm.
That was the mentality I grew up with. So that
Mm.
has already reduced my options. So because of that, I was like, so how am I going to make a living? Almost everybody I know around me, I didn't have any example to show that somebody that's a musician is making a type of living that I am proud of.
Mm.
Everything got worse when there was a time I went to Abuja. I was still in the university. I went to Abuja to visit some of my big brothers who are musicians who left learning.
Yeah.
Some of them are really popular now, so I
Yeah.
cannot mention
Yeah.
names. So when I went to them, I visited a number of them, and I wasn't proud of the type of life they were living at that time as musicians,
Mm.
as against their friends that had stopped being musicians or had stopped being church musicians.
Mm. Mm.
So I began to see that ah, if I if
Continue
I'm
like
going to
this.
remain a Christian and I want to express my talent, I'm going to be broke. So maybe I should look for other things to do. So I studied engineering in the university, hoping that one thing will lead to another, you
Mm.
know.
Mm.
So you can see that already there is an erroneous upbringing
Mm.
that I didn't know was erroneous until later in life when I began to get exposed to certain levels of knowledge and some other theology. Excuse me.
Mm.
Then that's the first part of my story. The second
Mm.
part of my story is that because I grew up in a home where the last born has to do the chores, so I grew up not liking chores, and I grew up not wanting to work. If you know what I
Mm.
mean, I grew up.
Mhm.
I wanted to be lazy. I wanted to be in a situation where my brain will do the work for me, not my hands. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Kind of like be
So
smart about everything. Smart work.
yeah, so I was very good in school. I did very well in school and all of that, but it wasn't sufficient. But in my mind, I kept telling myself that I want to get to the point where I will sit in my house and be
Mm.
making exploits. I will sit in my house as at this time, internet was not there. So the possibility, there's no example to show the possibility of what I
What's
am
happening?
expecting. Yeah, what I am hoping to be.
Mm.
So in 2013, so I studied engineering. My brother too, we understand this a bit. I
Yeah.
think he studied engineering too.
Yes, I
So in
am.
Nigeria, if you went to University of Technology, there are two internships you will do in engineering.
Yeah.
There's the shorter one, there's a 3 month internship, and there's a
And then
6 month internship.
yes.
So my 3 month internship, I went to Abuja. And of course, I went to Abuja to get a church that will pay me, of course, while I
Hmm.
shall do the internship somewhere so that I can fill my logbook and all. So I was working
Yeah.
somewhere. Now listen to this. If you know Abuja very well, my workplace was at Utako.
Okay. I know Utako.
I didn't have anywhere to stay, so I was staying with some big brothers of mine who are also trying to get their lives together at that time.
Mm.
So one of them, in the beginning, one of them was living at Lugbe. Now this Lugbe he was living at was after Federal Housing
Mm-hmm.
on the left side. I don't know
Mm.
how it is now, but that time it was a slum.
Ah.
And from the junction of that, when I dropped from Federal at Beggar, rather Beggar at
Yeah.
Beggar, there used to be a Beggar
Beggar
plant
Junction.
at
Oh, Beggar
after
plant.
Federal.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, after Federal Housing, yes. So opposite the Beggar plant is the village, the slum.
Yeah.
From the junction to the house I was or that my friend I was staying in, it would be a 15-minute bike ride
Yeah.
inside slum.
Yeah.
So I got tired of the place and I was like, oh my, I cannot be going to work every morning. I have to get to work by 8 o'clock. I jump on buses and I was like, what kind of life is this? So I called my other big brother who was now living at Kurudu. Now, if you don't
Mm.
know where Kurudu is, if you know Yanya, Kurudu is 30 minutes drive from Yanya.
Hey, way.
Okay,
I
so
lived in Abuja, but I don't even think I ever went to Kurudu.
oh yeah, so I would go from Kurudu to Utako every morning.
Mm.
How much was our salary? And I wasn't even enjoying the job because we get there, it's a government office, so we get there. There's no task. There's nothing that we are using our brains for. We
To
just
do.
sit down there, mark the register, and if you don't mark the register on time, they deduct the 15,000 they want to pay you. It was crazy. So I told
Mm.
myself, I will make sure that I am able to express my skills, whatever skill I'm going to learn, without
Mm.
having to leave my house.
Mm.
That experience cemented that drive within me that no, I don't want to work in an office in Nigeria.
Mm.
That I'm going to be, I have to be, it was too stressful. I got sick a number of times. It was crazy. So now I told you these two stories so that you understand where I'm coming from.
Mm.
When I eventually got into music production, the first thing I explored, sorry,
No, no problem.
the first thing I explored when I got into music production, the first thing I explored was freelancing
Mm.
because I thought about it that, sorry, excuse me, please. That's D4C calling me, and that's strange. Just a moment.
So one of the things I believe he was mentioned is trying to talk about is uh, talking about production, talking about freelancing. So you know, just I'm gonna be
Yes,
taking notes and I'm gonna be putting those notes in the chat. Yes.
no problem. So let me continue. So, having that orientation in mind, two orientations now that I cannot do music outside of the Christian cycle, or else I'll
Mm-hmm.
be sinning. I
Mm.
had not been delivered from that orientation at that time.
Mm.
And secondly, I don't see myself jumping up and down. So the first thing I explored when I got into music production was freelancing. And at that time, I didn't really know how it works, but I knew that for the fact that everything in music production as at that time can be done on a computer
Mm.
and it can be packaged into a file and sent through the internet to somebody else. Bro,
Mm.
that's it.
I could do
So the
it from
computer can be
anywhere.
yeah, the computer can be anywhere as long
Mm.
as there is internet and the knowledge and the skill to operate the computer is there.
Is there?
I'm going to explore it. All
Mm.
right, so I started. but I didn't know how to go about it. And so in 2018, a friend of mine, Pastor Peter, is in San Antonio, Texas now. He pastors a church there.
Mm,
So he came around and was like, "Hey, bro, there's this platform I want to introduce you to. Join this platform." I joined the platform, but it was a very slow start.
mm,
So he came and he came at another time and gave me a Mac, my first ever Mac. He said he wasn't using the Mac anymore.
mm.
That would I take it? And I took the Mac, and that was how I started learning how to
MacBook Pro
record
laptop,
drums.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was how I started learning how to record drums, multi-tracking. And the moment I was able to nail that, I started delivering drumming um, gigs online,
Mm.
and that was how everything changed. That
Started.
was just everything.
Mm,
So until later on, when I discovered that, oh, I can be a Christian and still express my musical abilities, because in the freelancing world, I cannot go and say, okay, it's only Christian songs that you people should bring my way. Oyinbo will bring rock and roll, but I can express Christian values,
mm,
which I've upholded. If your song has vulgar words in it, even if you're paying me $10,000, bro, I'm not gonna do it.
mm,
If your song has blasphemy in it, if even if you're giving me $1 million, I'm not gonna do it. Those are
mm,
values.
mm,
So I now introduced the values, and then the moment I did that, it began to open up a lot more um than
what is
it was
available?
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically how it all started. I'm still going to talk about how it expanded. I'm going to talk
Mm,
about how we were able to upsell and everything. But that is just the introduction of
mm,
how it started, and that is where I'm coming from.
mm,
And that has led to other possibilities. It has led to other possibilities. Um, One of the things it has led me to is it has exposed me to other musical appetites
mm,
from other parts of the world,
mm,
and that has broadened my understanding of music.
mm,
You know, in church, we are, especially the
mhm,
black church, we are very limited in our musical expression. We
mm,
think we know a lot, but we don't. Um, if you want to open the yansh of an African drummer, put him in a rock and roll band,
mm.
put him in an R&B band, or put him in a jazz band, you will
Hey.
discover that bro doesn't know much.
Mm,
So there's a large world. There's a you know when was the last time you see any gospel artist go to Asia,
mm, mm.
Korea, or Japan, or China? When
To
was the
go
last
and
time you
tour.
see a gospel artist go there on tour? That means there's an entire world there that
That we
doesn't
are.
know that gospel music exists. You understand?
Or this
So
style of gospel music exist.
yeah, like
Mm,
gospel music, as in, I'm not saying music that is Christian music,
mhm,
as in gospel music as a style.
mm,
When they hear it, they skip, they don't want to listen to it.
mm,
There's an entire world of people like that. So freelancing exposed me to all those possibilities, and now we've been able to build a company that has about 12 to 15 regular workers, all
mm.
musicians and vocalists. We've worked with people from over 45 countries. We've
Wow.
um, we've completed over 4,000 projects in the past 5 years.
Mm.
We've done
Different
we've
languages.
recorded in, yeah, unbelievable languages. We've recorded in Romanian.
Wow.
Romanian is a variant of Italian. We've
Mm.
recorded, sorry, a variant of Spanish. We've
Okay.
recorded in Spanish itself, in French, in Creole, in Chinese, that's Mandarin. We've recorded in Korean many times, that Korean many times. We've
Hmm.
recorded in Russian. We've recorded in, there's a language, there's one country, these are Albanian people. Yeah,
Albania. Okay. Okay.
we've recorded in their language before. We've recorded in German.
Hmm.
We've recorded in German. I mean, it's endless the kind of things you could do when you're exposed to that kind of world. So it has
Wow.
opened my mind to a lot of possibilities, and has shaped my decision making, even as a musician and as a music director or music producer. So
Hmm.
that's where we are.
Oh my God. Okay. So I know you're going you're going very fast. Let's break it down. So for
All right.
somebody now who's thinking about, okay, this is one avenue right now, and I know he went very quickly talking about this, but if I kind of like walk it back a little bit, number one, if you're going to make money beyond depending on a quote and unquote church salary or church income, you have to you know develop your skills properly, and you will have to be able to sell your skill. Okay. Now, one of the ways you'll be able to sell your skill for somebody to come and purchase from you is you have to expose yourself to what we call music production. There is no other way around it. Please, if I'm mistaken, because I believe without this knowledge of music production, there's no way you'll be able to do all of this work that we're talking about, right? So you need to
Yeah.
be able to start from, okay, I want to be able to represent what I know how to do in some form of recording. So you are a singer, you are a keys player, you are a whatever it is that you do, you are a drummer. In fact, you don't need to necessarily be a full-time music producer yet. You can start by just being a keyboard player. But by being a keyboard player, you know how to record yourself as a keyboard player before you can now start thinking of, okay, I want to put myself out there to record keys for people in the freelancing world. Does that make sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you have to start from like, okay, I am a keyboard player, and what do I need to get? What do I need to do to start this journey of freelancing? Do you want to walk us in that direction? Okay, maybe like let's start from the production side and then into like the
Okay.
freelancing side. Yeah. What can I?
Oh,
How
I'm
do I
seeing.
start?
I'm.
What do I need to get? Let's just say I'm just a
All right.
musician right now. I don't know anything about
Okay.
production and freelancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, we'll be exposing the principles. I'm seeing some of my people from Haiti.
Yes, sir.
If you know Pastor Deli Benson in Haiti, I produce most of his songs.
Wow.
So if
And
this
they
person
sing
knows Pastor Deli Benson,
in Creole,
yeah,
right?
in Creole.
Yeah.
In Creole. Pastor Deli Benson is like the Nathan Ebasi of Haiti.
Of Haiti. Oh, wow. That's
Yeah, yeah, you
amazing.
can look him up. So most of his songs I produce for him. Anyways, now what you need basically is um a willpower, first of all,
Mm,
that you are going to learn whatever it you need to learn for you to get to where you want to go to. So for me, I can play a bit of keys, not as professional as Odogu here will do, but I can play a bit of keys, but then music production is not limited to you just knowing how to play keys.
mhm,
If you expose yourself to music production, you are exposing yourself to the entire embodiment of music.
mm,
Because now you won't just be thinking as just a keyboard player.
mhm,
You won't just be thinking as just a drummer or just a bass player. When you begin to explore those tools, for the fact that you have basic idea of music in the first place, all you need to do is just sit down and explore.
mm,
It will take time, but you get there.
mm,
For the fact that you're already a musician, music production is not going to be it's going to be a walkover. Trust me.
It's not going to be too
You just
hard.
need to have that, yeah, you just need to have that willpower. Because let me shock you, some of the best music producers, especially in the Afrobeat space,
Mhm.
they are not even musicians.
They are just
They
mouse
just know how to flip
to use.
samples.
Yeah, they just know how to use
They know how
their
to use the
keyboard
tools.
and
They
tools.
know how to use the tools, and they have an idea of how it should sound. Many of them, if you give them a keyboard, they can't play so well
Yeah.
to a professional level. They can't play guitar to a professional level. They can't play drums to a professional level. But when they are on top of that Fruity Loops or Logic
With their
Pro
mouse.
or Ableton, what they can do with it, we that we have been playing for over 20 years, we are going to be struggling with it.
Mm,
So you see, you that you're a musician it's already a plus for you that you already have an idea of music. So all you need to do is just decide that this is an upselling. This you upselling yourself by adding more skills to yourself.
Mm.
And the good thing about music production is that it is so large, the possibilities are so much that you don't need to know everything.
You just
The
stay in
one
one
the
lane
one
and
you
master
know,
it. Mm.
be a master of it.
Mm.
And by the time you've spent a lot of time, you've practiced, you've failed many times, you've done beats that people have laughed at you over time. All those things will begin to, it's like you are being beaten to shape.
Mm.
And there's an important thing which I maybe has been mentioned on this channel before, and maybe will still be mentioned later on, maybe even in this live, is mentorship. It's faster when there's somebody that you can always run to and say, hey, bro, this is what I'm working on. Can you help me listen to this? When I
Yeah.
say mentor now, I'm not saying that you should go and look for somebody that's established. As long
Mm.
as somebody knows something you don't know, that person has the capacity to
To mentor
take you to
you
his
in
level.
that area.
Yes.
Yeah.
The person can be your younger brother, can be your
Mm.
nephew that you are
Mm.
10 years older than. And he can put you through something that will let you learn what he knows. The moment you know what he knows, concern us where you learn am from now. You already got
Mm.
it,
Mm.
right? So just have that orientation in your mind, and having that willpower and orientation in your mind will drive you to begin to do research on what are you supposed to get and all of that. But basically, all you need, you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
That all you need is just a computer.
That's the
That's
most
all.
important part of it.
Have a very good computer. The rest is a matter of time.
Yeah.
Willpower and a very good computer, and you'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
So
time. It's just time. Yeah.
yeah, so if you're a drummer, for example, or let me just start with a keys player or a guitar player. Most of the time, you already have a guitar that you're using, or you already have, a keyboard or something. And if you don't have keyboard, which one? In fact, most of us we don't have keyboard. Let's just say we cannot even afford some of the keyboards we play at church, which is interesting. So you don't need to have that keyboard. You can use VSTs, right? We call those virtual instruments, right? So if you invest in a very good computer, if you're a PC person, or sorry, if you're a Windows person, invest in a very good Windows computer. Get very good program. There are programs like Cubase. There are programs like Ableton
FL
Live,
Studio.
FL Studio, Studio One.
Yeah.
Those are very good programs. There's Pro Tools, but I don't usually recommend that if you're just starting out. You don't really need to go and be
Yeah.
buying Pro Tools. And if you're a Mac person, you can start with, GarageBand comes with your Mac for free. You can download
For
that
free.
from your app store and start working around how can I record myself, right? Get an audio interface. Audio interface, if you're a guitar player, you need that to kind of at least plug your guitar into an audio interface into your computer. If you're a keyboard player and you're thinking about where do I start from, get a MIDI controller, right? Invest in a MIDI controller. Some of these things we also means you will have to invest in yourself, all right? Yes, we're talking about willingness, but to make money, you have to spend money, right? If you're going to make money, you will
And
still have to spend money to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself by spending money to buy the tools you need. For example, the
yeah.
laptop that can do the work. Some laptop cannot get the job done. If you're going to do large
Of
projects, you
course.
need to get some kind of laptop, right? But again, as time goes on, you can see some of this information online that you can research and you can see. And I can tell you for a fact, everything I know about music production, I learned it from YouTube. So you literally can learn everything from YouTube. But music production is one of the foundation and I believe if I'm not wrong, like eh, I would say over 50% of how you can make money beyond of depending on church income will have to come from music production. A lot of that can come from music production. And a substantial amount of money you've never imagined can come from that. You can be part of a project where you do a song that becomes a global hit at some point in the future. And, that is coming because you have that skill. So learn how you can record yourself. Many of you are already good players. You already play fantastic, but you need to learn how you can record your music into the audio, how you can export it, the level you should record at, gain staging. How can you record in a way where it is usable? Can you play to tempo? Do we need to be quantizing your guitar after you've recorded it? We don't want to do that, right? So all the little things like this you want to learn how to do, and then present yourself to the world that you are available for jobs where they can hire you from the comfort of your home to start working for other people, which is the next part of, we talk about production and then the freelancing. So, you know, if you want to talk about that freelancing side.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for giving that insights. Things have really changed these
Mhm.
days. You can't really tell where your next gig is going to come from.
Mm,
It could be from social media. So when we are saying freelancing, we are not just saying that it must be on a platform. Like
mm.
it could actually start from social media itself. I have a number of friends. Like I have some friends that the kind of revenue chumping
Generating.
from they are generating from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube is crazy. And they are
Mm,
musicians like you. They are
mm,
they are musicians like you. Um, so when Bromosis was saying that the way you present yourself matters.
mm,
So every this is one of the things that has given me an identity. Every time I bring anything out, it's always good quality.
mm, mm.
So over time, I don't need to I don't need to cajole you or try and explain to
Over
you what you're
promote.
expecting from me. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you go to my page, when you hear my drums, when you see my videos, when everything is at least
At an excellent
minimum
level.
barest minimum
Hmm.
quality level. You
Mm,
understand? I really I'm not sure this is a good advice,
hmm.
but it's what I walked by. I rarely post rough videos of myself. Let's say I,
Mm.
I went to a concert, I played drums, and then there's a phone recording. I cringe when I have to post that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't enjoy doing that.
yeah.
Just to show you how addicted I am to
To quality.
to to quality.
Mhm.
Like it has to be good every time.
Mhm.
So if you have that mentality, it will actually help you because gone are the days that people will ask you for your CV. When you meet somebody, the first thing they will ask you for is your social media.
Mm.
Why? Because that is one of the direct representations of what you stand for and who you are.
Mm.
So even if you say, okay, you are going into music production, you are gathering the skill, you have to know how to present yourself
On
well
social media.
on social media.
Yeah.
That could actually be a great market for you. I met this brother here on Instagram.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We met on Instagram and we've done business together.
Yes.
And there are hundreds of them like that. That they heard what I'm doing and they be like, oh, this is good quality. And yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there. So for the other part, which is using some platforms, I'm going to be telling you some platforms right now. Some of you may
Mhm.
know those platforms, some of you might be on those platforms, but maybe you don't know the workaround for those platforms.
Mm.
One of the platforms is Fiverr.
Okay.
Fiverr, Fiverr.com.
Mm.
Fiverr.com. So
Just gonna be typing them in here. Freelancing platforms.
yeah,
Yep.
Fiverr.com. So
And
Fiverr is
some
the
of.
largest freelancing platform in the world.
Mm.
Fiverr is very large, uh, but it can be funny and it can be tricky.
Okay.
Yeah. So the rules of engagement of Fiverr can be a bit not so favorable for people that are just joining.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. So I may not be able to break down how to break through that,
Mm.
but there is no harm in trying. You can
Mhm.
carve out
Just
a
your niche.
special way of presenting your niche. Yes, it's a crowded place, but even though it is crowded, people, I can tell you, make I no go they blow my whistle, but I can tell you that even though it is crowded, even though Fiverr is crowded, there is still market.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Everybody, there are thousands of graduates that graduate from school every year. People still get job.
Exactly.
So,
People are still
op-
getting
yeah,
jobs.
open your mind to believe that I'm entering this market. Oh, Baba God, you will favor me in this market that I'm about to enter.
Exactly.
As long as you do good work,
Exactly.
right, and people can recommend you, people can, can trust that you deliver. When you say you again, I know you will get to all those places. So yeah,
Yeah, I will get to all
yeah,
that. I'm,
yeah,
I'm, I'm still coming to all of that.
yeah.
So there is Fiverr, there is Sound Better,
Mm,
soundbetter.com. So
okay.
Sound Better recently was acquired by Spotify. So
Oh,
it has
okay.
become a lot more bigger. And Sound Better is more professional. Like you will meet Grammy Award winning, like it's a professional, proper professional, and it's
Place.
only for music, right? So when you
Hmm.
go to Sound Better, of course, it's also competitive, but everything is packaging. You go to LinkedIn like this, and you will see people. They will say they have worked there. You have they
Yeah,
will take a very nice picture. Everything is packaging, my brother in the Lord.
yeah,
So
yeah.
package yourself well. Package yourself well. We are still talking about presentation now. We'll talk
Hmm.
about how to how to run the stuff. We'll talk
Mm,
about that one. That one also
okay.
has another set of principles. And
Mm,
then we have Airgigs. Airgigs. These are the three platforms. Airgigs.
yeah.
AIRGIGS.
Okay. A gigs.
Airgigs.
Okay.
So Airgigs is like um they modeled after Sound Better a little bit, but it's
Okay.
quite different. It's
Mm.
quite different. So Airgigs is quite different, and um on Air Gigs, you also meet professionals, but the advantage of Air Gigs and Sound Better over Fiverr is that whoever is coming there is coming for musical services.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
on Fiverr, you see a lot of people that do. I mean, Fiverr has
Anything they
everything.
do, they do anything,
Even if,
anything.
if you want to do marriage counseling, they Fiverr. I'm not kidding. I know someone that makes a lot of money
Just by canceling.
listening to. No, this one, if it is counseling for even better, this one, his job on Fiverr is just that he listens to you rant. So he will tell you that I'm going to listen to your ranting for 10 minutes, you pay me $50, and you'll be surprised.
Just for somebody to hear me rant.
Yeah, so let's say somebody served somebody breakfast, and just
Breakfast.
a lot of people in your area
Hmm.
in the West. The West is a very funny
Interesting
ecosystem and
place.
social. Yes, a very interesting place
Yes.
that you will see that one of the biggest pandemics in the West is loneliness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People don't interact with each other. You will see people that have been on the same street for 20 years and they have never spoken to each other before,
Mm.
you know. So because of that, that guy saw that loophole and created a service that can help people, massage their loneliness. So you see people,
Mm.
somebody lost something, lost a job or something, and just comes online. Who can I talk to? I don't have any family that I can talk to. And you go to Fiverr and you see people that you can talk to, and they will just
Mm.
listen to you, and
Mm.
they've just listen to you talk. And
Mm.
when the time is up, they get paid and you move on. But that's not
That's by the
that's
way.
on the other side of things. That's by the way. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that Fiverr is a lot more larger. So that makes it a lot more congested. Why Sound Better and Air Gigs is
Pure
majorly
musical.
focused on pure musicians.
Mm.
Now, these websites, one of the things that they will do to you is that you will meet people.
Mm.
You will meet people. I can tell you, sir, that in all my network of people that I know,
Mm-hmm.
that I work with, 95% came from these platforms.
Mm.
Oh, yes.
For all work that you do mainly.
All the work I've been doing for the past 6 years of my life,
Mm-hmm.
95% came from people I met. Either I met directly or I met them, they introduced me to somebody else.
Who used your
That
services?
happens, who now use my services. That
Mm.
happens a lot. The
Mm.
referrals happen a lot, a
By
whole lot,
by just word
and
of mouth.
by word of mouth.
Yeah.
And this is the principle that makes it work. So the principle is you come to me, I will floor you with correct, like I will wound you with quality,
Mm.
the quality of communication, the quality of attention. I pay attention to your project as if we are doing it together. You
Mm.
send me a project, I will tell you, I will ask you, okay, why did you write this song? You know, I will interact with you. We'll become friends on your project. Although, of course, I'm
Mm.
looking for your money, but we'll become friends on your project.
Mm.
It becomes, you feel like I'm taking it personal, right? And then by the time I deliver on time, in record time,
Mm.
actually, and then deliver good quality. You
Mm.
can't beat that.
Mm.
You cannot beat
Deliver
that.
on time. Be deliver on time and be a professional. Communicate. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You cannot beat that. That is unbeatable. And then you see that they tell other people about me. They tell, and then the network started building. And it's it's the kind of things that have happened from those networkings. I can't even be saying it.
Mm.
When people tell me, some people will call me and they'll be like, "Hey, we want to meet you. We want to do a project. Project of how much?
Mm.
200K." And they'll say, I want to come to your office. We cannot work until we see you face to face." I've done $100,000 projects with people that I've never met.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's very funny to me when people are saying, we want to come and meet you. Bro, stop that.
You're
Don't do
wasting my
that.
time.
You're wasting my time. But I'm trying to change now. I'm trying to,
Mm.
connect. I see that a lot of people in the local setting in Nigeria, their mind is not big yet. So I try
Mm.
to educate them and let them see possibilities so that it can expand their minds and we can get things done faster. But yeah, back to what I was saying, the networking possibilities are large, which means that even if you're not having direct success on the platforms, you have a chance of being exposed
Mm.
to some people that, if you maximize that relationship very well, can expose you to some other people that
Mm.
can change your life, because that
Mm.
is what happened to me.
Mm.
So I treat my freelancing platforms as if it's a physical office.
Mm.
I treat it like it's a physical office. I have an online staff. I have people that respond to certain kinds of messages for me.
Mm.
I have people that, we run it as a full blown company because we are running
Mm.
a six-figure company. You understand?
Mm.
So
Mm.
it's already big. So we have to run it like that. It's very organized. Um, and when we began to expand like that, when we began to create capacity, the expansion began to come.
Mm.
So it all started with me deciding that any project that comes, I won't do it alone.
Mm.
So when it comes, even though I may not make a lot of money, at that time I wasn't making so much money, but I was improving the quality of my work by working with other brilliant minds
Mm-hmm.
and also empowering those other minds.
Yes.
They too, they're
Yes.
getting a gig.
Getting paid.
And we've been doing that, and it has blown it out of proportion. There are days that we will go offline because we are overwhelmed with work.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
that happens a lot. So um the principles remain the same. Treat your Once you begin to acquire the skill and you think that you are ready to sell, treat it as a proper business.
Mm.
When somebody messages you on Instagram, how do you respond? How do you respond on Instagram? How do you respond on Facebook? How do you respond when somebody gets maybe somebody else tells them about you? When they meet you, what is the impression you give them? Do you give them the impression that, hey, I'm too busy for you? Or do you give them the impression that, I'm not sure I can do this job
Mm.
because it looks technical? Who tells you that any job is technical? There's no job
Mm.
that is technical, bro. Bring the job first. You will have somebody in
We'll
your
find
circle
it.
that can help you out.
Yeah.
So treat it as a business. There is no serious minded business that will say no to any offer.
Mm.
He doesn't. If our lovely president reaches out to me in one way or the other and say, we heard that you are a very excellent person and we want to build a new federal secretariat in Abuja, I'm going to take the gig, even
Yeah.
though I've never done any construction before. So,
For sure.
you understand. So, um, treat it as a business. Don't say no to any offer. And if you're just starting out, don't feel too big, because see, it's a graph, and this is the way the graph goes.
Mm.
If you have been busy locally before, by the time you enter into the freelancing world, chances are that the rates that your entry rates might be lower than your current rates as a in your local, the way you normally charge locally.
Oh. Mm.
So what you need to do is build traffic
Mm.
that will let people be able to trust you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you begin to have a meeting
Raise
point
your price.
until, yeah,
Mm.
until now you won't need the local gigs anymore.
Mm.
Do you understand? So that's the principle I used.
Mm.
I If you know the the eastern side, southeastern side of Nigeria, our
Yeah.
Igbo brothers.
Yeah.
So there is a principle they used to sell, and you will see them in every part of the country. They're always selling. They outsell the indigenous people in that place, and this is the
Mm.
principle they use. The principle they use is the traffic, the numbers. They don't really focus on making profits per unit.
Mm.
So let me explain to you in our music, freelancing music,
Yeah.
freelancing music time. So let's say somebody comes to me and say, "Oh, I want you to record drums to this song," and let's say my regular charge is $100 to record drums, and I'll be like, "Okay," and he says, he doesn't have the $100. So
Mm.
let's say out of 10 people that come to me, maybe two of them was able to afford $100. As against if I charge 50, right?
Yeah.
And 10 people come and all of them can afford the 50. Please, who makes more money?
Mm. Mm. I
I would have
see.
made, yeah, I would have made 500.
Yeah.
I would have, of course, it would be more work time, but it is also portfolio. I would have increased my portfolio with 10 new history.
Project. Mm.
If I keep doing that, after a while, I would have gotten a portfolio large enough for me to say, "Oh yeah, this 50, I know they collect them again." And they will say, "No, wala, anything, anything you want to collect, we'll pay for it, because now I've established myself
And they see
as
the
an
track
authority,
record. Yeah.
and there's a track record for them to follow."
Yeah.
So
And
if
people
you want to enter into the
like,
freelancing space,
yeah, everybody like that. Even sometimes when you want to buy things from Amazon, you want to go down and see the what do they call those things? Review? Is that what they call it? You
review,
want to
yeah,
go down to
yeah,
read
reviews,
all the review, how many stars, how many people commented, how many people have purchased this item. If you see an item that has
exactly.
had 50,000 sales versus another item that has only done 100 sales, imagine both of them, they don't have any review. Which one are you thinking you will buy? You probably buy the one that has sold 50,000. You probably
Even
just
if
want
it
to go
is
buy that.
slightly, even if it is slightly more
Slightly more
expensive,
expensive. Slightly more
you will trust
expensive.
it.
You think 50,000 people they've bought this, it has to be good,
It
right?
has to be good.
And then if both of them now has 4.8 stars, you will definitely still go for the 50,000 sales because they've sold
Course.
to 50,000 people. So, yeah, that's where that concept comes from and it makes sense.
So the numbers, if the numbers are good, so like, even if you're not doing yours on Fiverr or any of these platforms, even if it's Instagram, if you have a receipt or some kind of footage or some kind of thing that links you to what you've done, by the time
Yeah.
you show up for the big gigs, the first question they will always ask you is that, what have you done?
Mm.
That's always the question. What have you done? What have you done? So nobody needs to know how much you are paid for what you are done, or for what you have done. Nobody needs to know how much
They
money
just
you've
want to
made
see
for
what
what
you've
from what you've
done.
done. You have sure done something, right?
And it was good.
So it will increase your, yeah, and it was good. So it will increase your chances. And then another thing is upselling. We talked about it earlier. Upselling is adding more, adding more skills, adding more layers of
More
skills. Because when I started
services.
out, yeah, when I started out initially, I started out recording drums.
Mm.
Later, I added mixing drums to it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a number of connections from that, some of which are
Mm.
still strong till today after 5 years. Then I went into the music production thing. I started offering those services also. And then from there, I started offering vocal recording services.
Hmm.
So everything. So now you can buy my entire package now.
Hmm.
I have enough. I have a lot of proof to convince you. Now I'm also now running. We are running our own ministry that we are using to express ourselves without being limited to what a client brings. So
Hmm.
we're expressing ourselves. So if you check that one, too, you will see an expression that is unique to us that we are in total control of.
Hmm.
I mean, so with that kind of track record, I can bid for certain things now that I couldn't bid for when I started out initially. It was quite rough when I started out, I must tell you.
Someone asked a question
Very
here,
rough.
Stanley. It says, please,
Okay.
how did you start the freelancing before having people reply messages for you and running it as a company? I mean, I think once
Yes.
it get, yeah, go ahead.
Let me even tell you. So it took me 6 months to get my first sale ever.
Hmm. So you were just you registered, but you didn't see any people,
I
anybody.
didn't see any sale.
Okay.
I did not see any sale for 6 months. When I got that first sale, Omo, I won the guy. Oh God, I
Hmm.
played that drums. Jesus.
Hmm.
I still remember it very well. It was a rock and roll song.
Hmm.
The guy didn't even record the song to tempo, so I just played along. Fire. It was later on I discovered why I wasn't getting sales. It was because my page wasn't set up in a way that was attractive. Even though,
Hmm.
now to make it worse, I didn't have any reviews, right?
Hmm.
So initially on my page, I put videos of me playing chops. Oyinbo no
Hmm.
like all those things.
Hmm.
So they didn't like it. So I changed it to a video of me playing a cover of one Emily Sande song.
Hmm.
Emily Sande songs are very,
Simple,
very, and
soulful.
I played that song. Bro, that song made me over four. If that song made me over $20,000.
Wow.
That video, it was just a 50-second video. That video, bro, it changed my life.
Hmm.
It was from
Hmm.
there I got some endorsements and a number of things. It just opened up. This video did not. If I show you that video on YouTube right now, I don't even think it has up to 1,000 views on YouTube.
Views from YouTube, but it has generated sales and converted customers.
Bro.
Yeah.
So the first principle is, I mentioned willpower the other time. So you have to introduce that willpower here to that. Okay, here we're not gonna, just like Jacob, I won't leave until you bless me.
Hmm. Hmm.
um it might be tough for some people. It wasn't like that. I have friends that I introduced to some of these platforms, and the next, like, they joined and the next week they already started making sales.
Hmm.
So it's not like you must go through that kind of wilderness experience. No.
Yeah.
If you have a very well set up page, you can use AI. Actually, you can use AI to set up your
Design
page
flyer
properly.
and things like that.
Not even the flyers alone, that one is great
Okay.
too, but the descriptions, people that want services like that, they read. They're not like Nigerians, sorry.
Hmm.
These people read. They will read what they are expecting. So the way you write it matters,
Hmm.
the way you present it matters. So if you're not very good at writing stuff, you can use AI you just have to present your
Your
business in a way that
page.
will be attractive.
Yeah.
And then you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Now, since these skills are skills that, and then, finally, don't overthink things. So don't
Hmm.
think that it needs to be super complex before it becomes sellable.
Hmm.
Some of the best music that, like some of the songs that will stick in your head forever, they are very simple melodies. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I
Cover
wonder what
me.
you are.
Yeah.
Simple melody. If I sing you a Kimbure song right now, I can bet that most people on this live will not know it. So
Yeah.
have that orientation that it doesn't have to be complex before it is sellable.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah, and then just present yourself properly. Look for niche that many of these freelancing sites, most people that buy from it are not usually Africa based.
Yeah.
So you need to do, even if they are Africans, they're not based in Africa. So you need to present your channel in such a way that it can attract people that are not necessarily Africans.
Hmm.
That is very important.
Hmm.
You need to present yourself in a way, even on Instagram, even on YouTube. Do you know that if you monetize your YouTube channel, if most of your audience is African audience or Nigerian audience, you won't generate the kind of revenue
The
you would
revenue is
generate
different.
if your audience is from
Yeah,
America or
the
Canada.
RPM is different. Yeah.
It's totally different. So that shows that if you really want to do this, you need to, which is the next step now, you need to start thinking globally. Yes, you are in a small place, like I'm in Ilani. You can
Mm,
trek from one end of Ilani to the other. That's how small this town is,
mm,
right? So, but even though I'm in Ilani, my mindset has never been the Ilani mindset.
yeah.
For me to be able to appeal to an Asian and I deliver work for somebody from Japan, somebody from Korea,
Mm-hmm.
how did I understand what would impress that kind of person?
Mm,
Do you understand? I built up my mind to have a global. So anything I'm doing as far as music is concerned, I try to let it have a global standard.
mm,
And if you notice in everything I've been saying, I've not been talking about church music.
yeah.
So, like I said, because of the background I had before, I had to separate myself from that background. That if I really, really want to go forward with this thing and make expert with this thing, I need to detach myself from the limitation of church music.
Mm,
Music is bigger than church.
mm-hmm.
Music is bigger. I take church to be a training ground
Mm,
because in church, you will in most churches, especially Nigerian churches, we get to explore a lot of styles. I don't know if
mm,
that still happens now, but when I
mm.
was growing up, we explored a lot of styles. So that has given me a good
Good
foundation for me
foundation.
to build on. I
Mm,
will not be wise if I'm just staying within that. It's as if I go to a fuel station. I usually give this example a lot. It's as if I go
yeah.
to a fuel station, I fuel my car, and I start driving the car inside the fuel station until the fuel finishes.
Mm, mm.
That the fuel will still finish, right? You understand? Instead of me to leave that fuel
And
station,
explore.
go out there, get to the destinations I want to get to, get home, get to the theater, get to the gym, get to the hospital, get to
Mm,
the market, do get to everywhere I'm supposed to get to. And when I'm about to be used up, I come back and refuel. So
mm,
that is the principle you're supposed to have, and that would really help. There are other things too. There are other sides that I've
avenues.
not personally explored,
Mm-hmm.
but I have friends that have explored it. For
Yeah.
example, sync placements. There
Mm.
are people that make music for now. If you are
TVs.
watching TV, if you're watching TV, you're watching National Geographic, you're watching Showmax, you're watching all these things. All the music they use there, somebody made it.
Mm-hmm. Advertisement. All those music.
All these advertisements, somebody made the music. All the movies you are watching, somebody make the music. Most of
Yep.
the Nigerian movies that are blockbusters, T.I.M make the music. T.I.M
Hmm.
is our brother. I've known T.I.M since I was small. T.I.M and my
Mm.
other sister, they went to the same school. I've known him since I was a child. You understand? So he had always been, producing music, produced for Mike Abdul. Did
Yeah.
one day he came to my office in London and he was like, "Oh man, I know Sabi play all this syncopation again."
It's just doing film and
He just
TV
and
music.
he's gradually becoming one of the strongest voices in that area.
Hmm.
Why are you limiting yourself? There's a lot that can happen with music. I have a
Mm-hmm.
very good brother, my very good friend, Ipiano.
Yep.
I don't know if you know Ipiano.
I
He's a
do.
fantastic producer. He's my boy. Now, Ipiano, he started doing content creation long
Mm-hmm.
time ago. He started doing content creation.
Yeah.
It wasn't making any sense. At the beginning, he used to do a lot of piano stuff.
Yeah. Chords. We'll be playing chords.
Oh, later, I started doing funny stuff.
Yeah.
From the funny stuff, it
He's
went
making
into the
beats.
line of what those Paul cleverly used to do. And boom, just boom. You don't want to know how rich that boy is.
Mm.
He's in this same learning with me.
Yeah.
Don't think
I
he's
know.
in Lagos or Abuja or anywhere. I'm just telling you possibilities. And there are many others like that. there are a lot of them that I can mention piano's name because it's my guy. I
Mm.
cannot mention some other people's names.
Yeah.
You know, there are many other people that are like us that found something that is working and we stick to it. And if you ask us, we don't hide it. I don't hide these things. The
Mm.
amount of people I've told about Fiverr, bro, Fiverr is supposed to pay me for
For
advertising.
recommending the website,
I
the
don't hide
platforms.
it. I know
Yeah.
they hide updates. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't hide it. What usually happens why some people fail is because they don't understand these principles. Like that curve I explained to you, many people don't
Mm.
understand it. That
Mm.
curve was very tough for me to deal with. Maybe you don't. Let me tell you what really happened so that you will get why that curve was deep and was very
Mm.
difficult. The place I was recording drums in at that time when I started out,
Yeah.
it was a studio. Well, it was quite a big space, so the security wasn't tight. So we had to pack the drums into a store every day.
Mm.
So listen to this. I was charging $5 to record drums.
Mm.
I will bring out the drums, set it up, mic
Mic it
it.
up.
I will use small money that I had to that time petrol wasn't so expensive in
Yeah.
Nigeria. And I would buy petrol into the gen because there wasn't
Jane.
power there
Of course.
to do a $5 gig. And I
Mm.
did that for about 3, 4 months. But it
To
didn't go
just to
beyond three,
get
four months.
reviews and get
The
portfolio.
moment the reviews was good, then I began to charge my regular rate. So I began to break even. Then after
Mm.
a while, I went up.
Mm.
Now, if you don't have $100, I'm not playing drums for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that time. If you want me to play drums for you, you must have $100 at least now. But there was a time it was $5.
Mm.
So if you're going to go in that line of freelancing, please don't be discouraged when it's just starting out.
And you don't have to stay on just one platform. You can register on
You
as
don't have
many
to
platforms, right?
on
Register on
as many as
Fiverr,
possible. Even
register
Upwork.
on, yeah, the
There are
many
people
of
on
them.
Upwork doing music. There are many people on Upwork doing music. I'm not just I'm not
Freelancer,
really.
Outsourcely, all those places too. Yeah.
There are many places you can never tell where you're going to get the next gig from. And social media, I cannot say this. See, another mistake that we musicians make, right, is that we try to create content that will impress other musicians.
Mm. Mm.
And that can be an error. It can work for some, but that may not always work. Because, bro, I've been in this music game for years and we've done a number of seminars, a number of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I can tell you that musicians don't pay for music.
Mm. Mm.
Musicians are the ones that will not buy the tickets to the shows. They rather call their friend who is part of the team. Oh boy,
Yeah.
let me organize tickets now.
Mm.
Musicians will not buy CDs. They won't do it.
Mm.
Most musicians I know, they use Audio Mac because it's free. They don't want to
And
pay
they
for
will go on
Spotify
YouTube and just stream
and
on
or
YouTube.
play on YouTube and stream on YouTube.
Yeah.
The people that consume this thing, the people that really pay the money, they are not really musicians.
Mm.
So you want to create content if you want to go in the social
If you want to
media
get
route, you
work,
want to create content that is
that needs to
relatable. These
work.
are things I'm also learning. Yeah, these are things I'm also learning. It's not like it's not like I've mastered it too. I'm also
Yeah.
learning it.
Yeah.
Do things that every normal human being can relate with
Mm.
and begin to build it up over time. Build it up and build your network. See, in all these conversations we've been having, we've not mentioned anything coming from church.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is better? I'm putting it to everybody that is on this live right now. I'm beginning to get to my down to earth version. Which one is better, that you depend on the church to pay you every service or every month or every year, or the church has a need and you are well positioned to meet that need,
Mm.
either incognito or that they know that you're the one meeting it. Oh, that thing, oh, it's so sweet.
It's so
That
sweet.
the church, the kingdom of God has a need, and you're in a position to meet that need. Bro, I don't know of any other privilege as big as that.
Mm.
Oh, what a privilege. You will do it like this and you'll be happy that, God,
You feel
I'm
fulfilled.
grateful I'm able to do it. Not Now compare that with somebody that he cannot eat until the church pays him. I don't want to be that guy.
Mm.
No, I've never wanted to be. I
Mm.
have never wanted to be. I grew up in church, so I know how some of these things are. Even when I didn't have anything, I didn't look for a church that would pay me.
Mm.
I wasn't interested. If it is that I'm going to leave music, I don't mind.
Mm.
I wasn't just interested in being on that church payroll
Mm.
because I feel like I will be missing out on the blessings
A lot of
that I would have
opportunities.
gotten if I am in a position to be a blessing to the kingdom.
Mm.
Somebody, I was in a conference one day and they said, okay, everybody write down your dreams. Bro, you won't believe what my dream is.
Mm.
My biggest dream in life. To go to any city and it is Sunday morning, I want to worship in a church. And I look for the church that has the list of amenities. And I go there and I leave the place with a check
Mm.
that will sort all their problems and they will never find me again.
Mm.
And I move on to the next city. That's one of my biggest dreams in life.
Mm.
Do you
Mm.
know what inspired that dream? It was a Muslim that inspired that dream.
Oh.
I heard the story of the Muslim when I was in Zamfara. I served in Zamfara for 1 year, by the way.
Okay.
So when I was in Zamfara, the Muslim, I heard the story of the Muslim that it was just passing by and it was night and it was time for evening prayer. So himself and his driver stopped by and they saw a mosque, an uncompleted mosque. They went to pray there.
Mm.
And he met with the imam of the mosque that why is this mosque uncompleted? They said they don't have money. And he dropped the money, enough money to
To finish it.
complete that mosque. And he entered his car and left and never came back there.
Mm.
I want to be that guy for
Mm.
Jesus.
Yes,
So
sir.
I realized that if I'm going to be that guy, I won't I won't want to stay on church
Mm.
on church salary because I
Mm.
will never be that guy if I keep
Mm.
depending on church for. So so this is what has informed everything I'm doing, even if I see any other platform and I join or you see me do anything, see
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do is use what I have to make money outside of the influence of the church
Mm.
and then use that money to influence the
To
world
influence the
through the
kingdom.
kingdom of God.
Yeah.
So that is my principle. Whatever it's going to take. See, I'm a shameless person when it comes to money.
Mm.
When I say shameless, I mean that there's no skill I cannot learn
Mm.
as long as if I know this thing is going to generate more
Generate
income.
income.
If I have this knowledge, it's going to generate more income. If I have this understanding, it's going to generate more income. I'm in for it.
Mm.
And it is a blessing that some of these skills and knowledge and information, there are some of them or most of them that I know now. They are inside what I am talented and gifted in, which is music.
Mm.
And this thing is
Yeah.
flying all over the place.
Yep.
So you need to be patient, you need to be focused if you want to go on this path. And I think you want to go on this path. Trust me.
Mm.
You need to be patient, you need to be focused. You need to be focused because even though the end goal is for you to be independent from church
Income.
employment, part of your journey might be you pass through church income. That is okay.
That's
But you just
fine.
tell yourself that I'm not going to stay there.
Mm.
I'm not going to stay there. You just tell yourself, see, whether we like it or not. Okay, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Some years back, I was talking to a friend of mine who worked with a top Nigerian artist. I won't mention the artist name, but it's a lady.
Mm.
She's not very popular. She's not very there again now, but then she was very hot.
Mm.
And they were interviewing her, and they asked her a question. Musicians, listen to this. So once I'm done with this, let it sink in. We are going to take a minute pause so that it can sink in. All right. So they interviewed this lady and they asked her a question. They said, so you live in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Lagos? She said, yes. So let's say one of your musicians, let's say your drummer, moves into your neighborhood. Are you
Mm.
not going to be excited about that? Do you know what she said?
Mm.
She said she's going to move out.
Wow. If your
So let
drummer moves into your neighborhood.
yeah, she's going to move out. It means that what she meant was that it means her level, as she's now in the same level with her drummer, not possible.
Yeah.
She needs to be higher.
Yeah. That's
Let
crazy.
that sink in.
That is crazy.
It will shock you to know that there are many artists that are like that. I have interfaced with some of them, and I can tell you for a fact. They may
Mm.
not say it in an interview, but it's in their minds.
Mm.
I know of somebody,
In the
of a
same estate.
musician. I know of a musician who bought a car, and the day he drove his car to rehearsal was the day he was fired from the band.
Mm.
See, you need to understand some of these things that the system is not set up to favor you if you're under an artist or under a church.
Mm.
Trust me, it is
Forever.
not. It is not.
Yeah.
It is not. So I will advise that if you really want to do music and you want to leave a legacy for your children, you want to rub shoulders with your mates that are doctors and engineers and IT
Mm.
specialists and
Mm.
doing other that have other professions. Up your game. Stop thinking of artists. Some one day I was asking some group of musicians and I was asking them, what will you do as a musician that will make you fulfill the most in life? They said one of them said the day you play like
Play
your
for.
experience.
Ah.
Say the day when you play for experience, like they say you go in life, don't I'll be like, bro.
As if they ah
So you see that, see, let me tell you this.
mentality, man. The mindset is not
Yes,
right.
you
It's not right.
cannot be bigger than where your mind is. You cannot
Mm.
go beyond where your mind is. You cannot go beyond where your mind is. You cannot go beyond where your mind is. You need to understand that. You need to expand your mind. You need to see possibilities that you cannot be limited to what the system has provided for you. So you hack it and step out of it. That's my advice for you. That is what I've been doing. That is what I will keep doing.
Mm.
I have a plan to retire very soon,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to travel the world when I retire. Me and my
Yes,
wife.
sir.
You know, you see the kind of goal I have, the kind of dreams I have.
No, be 50,000 naira salary. We do this one.
I was talking to one of our friends. He's in Calgary
Oh
with you there.
God.
I was
Yeah.
talking to him, and he told me one day he's one of the people that actually opened my mind,
Mm.
shattered my brain. Let's mention his name now. We all know him. He's D plus.
Okay. D plus. D plus is my guy.
So D plus. One day D plus told
D
me
plus
something.
low key too. Low key too.
D plus.
Freelancing.
God.
Seriously.
So one day D plus told me something. D plus said that he wants to be so rich that every evening he will he will he will hire the best piano player in the world to come and play in Beethoven in his living room. That he's going to set up a grand piano.
Oh my god.
Ah, you know, that's a dream. Now we are talking. Not that you say, I will be fulfilled the day I play for Usher. Do you know how much the musicians of
Get paid.
even some of the biggest gigs in the world,
Mm.
some of the biggest artists in the world, the musicians are not so rich, but they will not tell you.
Mm.
See, they won't tell you because it's the game. The game is the show business. You need to understand that it is show business. Anything you see online, anything you see everywhere, it's not really all
It's not
that it
really all
is.
that it is.
You understand? So it's either they have other things they're using to make money. The money is not so much as against if you set up businesses inside music.
Mm.
Do you know that? Let's pull it up. Bro,
Yeah.
let's pull it up.
Okay.
How much did Spotify make last year?
Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen. Let's go here. Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna go to my screen. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Hopefully. Spotify 2024 income
Revenue.
revenue. Right? Yeah, this is, let's see. Total revenue was up 16% to 4.2 billion euros.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which artist now Google which artist made the most
the
money?
most money.
Not on
Okay.
Spotify, like generally. Like
Oh,
which
okay.
artist made the most money in 2024?
Hmm.
And how much was it? I've not done this research. I'm just imagining. So let's see.
Eh, let's
So
say,
Spotify made four point something billion, right? So let's
yeah.
see which artist.
Which artist
No,
makes
not on Spotify now. Like
just
artists that made
generally?
most generally, yeah,
Yeah.
richest artists.
So Taylor
Or
Swift
I
was
think
the
it was Taylor
artist
Swift.
who
Yeah,
generated the most money from streaming globally with over 26.6 billion streams.
how
Um,
much did she
well,
make?
that is according to Spotify. But how much money? If you would tell us the value now, you know. But anyways, we could do the math. Typically uh streaming
No,
income is
I wasn't
about
even. I wasn't asking about streaming income.
just
Like
streaming.
generally,
Just okay,
no, no.
okay,
Like
okay,
how much did
okay.
Taylor Swift make
Which
last year?
artist made the most
The
money
most money
in 2024?
in 2024.
So Taylor Swift was the highest grossing. The tour, Taylor Swift tour.
Yes, the tour.
But this is only the
I know
tour though.
She made a lot of money from the tour.
From other things too, for sure. But the
Yeah,
tour alone
yeah.
was $1.1 billion
So
gross.
the
So
gross. Okay,
yeah.
so the artist that made the most money did not make enough money like a music company did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A music company that doesn't do music.
Mm.
To show you that there is business inside music that is not necessarily music.
Serious money.
There's
Serious
serious
money.
money. So I don't see the reason why managers, accountants, engineers, other people that are not musicians are making more money from music from music than the musicians and artists are.
Yeah.
you know, that's the
So
theory I'm trying
Taylor
to
Swift
pull out from.
made from Spotify $387 million.
That's not even up to 10%.
It's not even up to 10%
Not even up
of
to
the
1%.
of
It's not up
the.
to 1% of what of
That's
what the
crazy.
company itself made. So just think about that, right? So as musicians, don't limit yourself. Some of you are gifted in many things. Some of you are gifted in artist relations.
Hmm.
Oh, some of you are gifted in it. Some of you are gifted in management. Some of you are gifted in there are many other things that you wouldn't know you can do until you begin to explore it.
Yeah.
So don't limit yourself to the music alone. That's what I'm trying to say. Because me, as I am like this, as I am like this, I've been exploring some other possibilities
Hmm.
because there's so much that music can make for you as a musician.
Yeah.
There's so much. It has a cap to it. But when you begin to explore beyond just the music, when you begin to explore other possibilities, then you begin to see, for example, all these AI apps, right?
Hmm.
Udemy, Fader, Mosaic, all these AI apps that we are using,
Mm.
right? Somebody developed the apps.
Mm.
I was talking to a friend who who is an ambassador for one of the apps and was telling me an app that came out in January, how much they've already made by March.
From the app.
Yes, it's an AI app.
Mm.
What are they doing? They help you. You can create choir with your voice.
Mm.
And they're already clocking up to maybe 50K per month already.
Crazy.
I can bet that maybe it's just two people that created the app.
They developed the app.
You understand? So just
Think
I
beyond.
said it the
Just
other
think
time.
beyond.
Your limit, you cannot be bigger than your mind. So expand that mind. Listen to podcasts. Don't just score song from morning to night. Expand your mind. Have conversations with people that are not musicians. Let them talk to you. Be exposed to another to the real world, to how money moves, how businesses are done, how things are done. That will really help you. By the
Mm.
time you begin to apply some of the principles you are learning from those other secular stuff into your music, into the way you do your music,
Yeah.
chances are that you will get better results than somebody that is not exposed to that kind of information.
Mm. Mm.
A professor, a very notable professor in the Nigerian social media space, Professor Layi Wasabi, once said, information of info, that is, we fly with information. you
prominent
know,
professor,
prominent professor
prominent professor.
emeritus.
You know,
But
yeah.
then you try and understand what I'm trying to say. Um, that yes, music can take you to a point, but the main thing that will bring the bigger results for you is how you do the music, and how you do the music can be informed by information from any sector, and you can apply those principles into how you do your music. And if there is a need for you to begin to expand into other sectors, even as a musician, even as a
Hmm.
music executive, you can begin to expand. See, I am looking forward to a future, a very near future, that in 10
Hmm.
years time, the people that will be controlling the music industry all over the world, they will be church boys.
Hmm.
It is possible.
Possible.
It doesn't have to be people that are not Christians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who says that we cannot take over that space?
Hmm.
The only way we are going to be able to take over that space is if we can think beyond what we are being presented to.
I think
All right.
something that people, some of us, we don't want to agree. A lot of us don't want to believe is the fact that we want the easy way out, and the easy way out is
It's
church
church.
income. A lot of us
I'm
want
telling you.
we want the easy way out. Quick money every Sunday, right? We want the easy way out because now you know how to play easy way out. I play here, I get paid. Yo, now the day I realized that, okay, I've been in Abuja before. As at the time that I was in Abuja, my church salary was 25,000 naira, 25,000 or maybe 30, can't remember. And then I realized that, wait a minute, the highest paying church in Abuja at that time, I'm not sure if my information was totally right at the time, but it was around 150K, maybe 100K at the time,
I
right?
remember that time I heard the
Right.
gist.
So now I'm thinking to myself, I have family. I have. Imagine you want to, and only a few churches paying that. It is competition to even get into that kind of places where you are earning that kind of money. Other churches are paying 50K, 40, 30. Now you want to marry, you want to born pikin, your pikin want to go to school.
God
Are
I
you
beg.
thinking about it? Like eventually, will this eventually solve your problem? Will this eventually give you the life that you truly want? So if you want to step out and uh don't want the easy way out, we have to be ready to like do the work. And we've been talking about all these opportunities that are available to you. I'm going to put some other things, some other ideas out there as well. We've talked about expressly about freelancing. And again, you don't have to stay on one platform. Register yourself on as many platforms so that, if one platform is not picking up yet, another platform is picking up. And then you can kind of like, until you get to a point that you are so busy and you start shutting down some platforms. Again, that's good for you.
Or
Advertise.
start
Yeah.
or start outsourcing.
Mm.
Don't shut down, outsource.
Okay.
The money
Outsource
can
it.
always come. Somebody will always need it.
Hey.
Bro.
Give it to another person. Give
somebody
it to another
somebody is where
person.
you used to be.
Even it
Somebody's
is,
present
yeah.
is your past.
Yeah. Even if it is
You
two
understand?
dollars that
Somebody's
you
present is your
make on
past.
top of it. You
Yeah, you
know.
don't need to make a lot of money, but I
Yeah.
mean, you are empowering people,
Yeah.
and that's how you build a community.
Mm.
That's how you build people. That's how you build men that they will never forget you for the rest of their lives, because you didn't just make a living, you helped them to also find.
Their
You get
footing.
so yeah.
Absolutely.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Other things I was going to just talk about is, if you're a musician, look at some of the problems around and develop product. You could do that as well. There are products that you can think about. You can think about things that you can sell to other people, right? There was a time I released a loop pack. Up until today, people still buy it. I've released the loop pack
Yeah.
since 2023. They are already asking me for volume 2. I'm telling you,
I was going to ask you how far when
they're already asking me for
because I,
volume
I
2.
don't I don't overuse that pack, I beg.
They're already asking me for volume 2. And some people are still buying volume 1, right? Mixing template, sound patches. If you're a sound designer, you design sounds, you know, design sounds in Logic, design sounds in on your piano, on your keyboard. I've done sound patches on Not Stage 4. I've done sound patches on Montage. I've done sound patches on Roland Phantom. Some people are using that. I've released mix template that people are using to mix their project. Right? Those are other things. And you do that, you release that project, you release that product one time, it can generate money for you for, as long as it's out there, right? And you can generate income in that way as well, right? You can do copywriting for other people. If you're the kind of person that, if you have background in law and you're a devoted musician, you want to do some other work around copywriting, you are at a better place, because this is an area that a lot of us don't know what we are doing when it comes to copywriting and split and things like that, right? So if you want to take some time to be like, okay, let me understand this area of copywriting, split sheet, all these things, you can go into that direction and offer that services to other music producers that are your friends and say, bro, let me be your legal advisor for your project, for your all the things that you're doing, and let me sort you out for your copywritings and things like that. If you're a good mixing engineer, if you're a good producer, if you're a good DJ, and you have some other skills like that, you can work in radio houses, radio stations, and TV stations. They need people that understands how to work audio, right? You can find your way in those areas. Theater houses, they need FOH engineers, right? If you understand how to mix audio, you're a good FOH engineer, you're a good musician. Now you are transitioning your skills into audio engineering. There are places that you can go into. As a matter of fact, people are talking about playing, not paying musicians, but I've not seen them argue about don't pay engineers. Maybe they will not argue about that. So that's an that's an area for you to go into, learn how to engineer sound, do front of house engineering, do monitor engineering, do broadcast audio engineering, do mixing and mastering services for people, right? Just by learning that skills, you can navigate into four different areas within the audio engineering world that you can serve and earn income from, right? The other one, I know you were touching about, you were touching on this a little bit the other time. While you were doing project for other people and you're freelancing, you can create content around the work that you're doing, right? So you're producing work for somebody, you're delivering project, as long as they give you permission to do it, and you will only release that kind of content when the product is out, or when the song, or when the particular, you know, project is out there, right? While you are working and creating for other people, create content around your work, right? You are tracking, you're producing in the studio and doing all those things. Create content around it. Right. At this current age right now, every musician, you will have to be able to know how to work a camera and how to use your computer to record yourself, right? So you record yourself doing the job, because this is social media is our own LinkedIn. We don't have another LinkedIn or anything like that. You need that presence to show that you can get the job done. And with, digital cameras, your phone, understanding how to do light and little things like that, you will put content around the work you're doing, and you can put it out there as behind the scenes content and things like that on YouTube, on social media, on things like that. And you can also generate leads and people who can hire you, right? You can do, full-time content creation, right? You mentioned someone the other time. You mentioned ePiano the other time. ePiano is doing content for band labs, doing content for autotune, doing content for some of these companies from, different places, and doing content for them, right? You can also do one of the content I saw that a lot of people are also gravitating into. If you are skilled at teaching as well, right? You can take a video, let me be a very trending video, do a reaction to it, do some teaching around it, and be like, okay, this is what they were doing, this is where they were doing, why they are doing this, and why they are doing this. Break it down on YouTube. People want to know that stuff as well, right? And you can be earning serious money on YouTube People are earning serious money on YouTube. If you have like, 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, and let's say, for example, you are in Nigeria and you are earning like $1,000 from YouTube every month. I don't know a church that wants to pay you $1,000 in Nigeria
I don't know a
monthly.
church. Oh.
You understand what I'm saying? So now
How much
there
is
are
that
all these
making?
avenues that you can go around and figure out. Again, we're talking about Fiverr for maybe delivering project and work, but you can also teach people as well lessons. A lot of people want lessons. Guess what? Especially in this Western world, lessons are very expensive. Music lessons are very, very expensive for kids. If you know how to set up your camera, this is a live event right now. We are live. You can also use this same setup that I'm using to teach people, right? I have a camera above me here. I'm going to switch to it. So just let me show you how I do teaching. I don't necessarily do a lot of teaching because I don't have time, but you can also teach people and earn income. Let me just set up this right here. So if I go into my other view here, right, I can I can speak to people like this and teach somebody just by setting up my camera, setting up everything, and I can have a virtual conversation with my students where I can charge them decent amount just by staying in my house, right? Lessons are so expensive, like I said. For example, in some places they are charging as high as $100 an hour, $80 an hour to do lessons. If you are in your house and let's say you are on Fiverr and you say you're charging somebody $10 an hour to do lessons for a start, to start building your profile and things like that, and you're just giving them lessons, right? And they are seeing you, you're giving them everything they want. Oh, can I see your face? I can switch to my face. Okay, now let's switch to the keyboard. What hand are you using? This is my left hand. You show them everything, right? Now you can start teaching them and you can start making money from teaching. If you're online for 4 hours in a day, you can literally make like $200 just by teaching on Fiverr or any other platforms, or even just by setting up on online. You can even you probably don't even need to be on Fiverr. You can just put this on social media and be like, I teach, I have good setup, everything is ready. I can show you everything you need to know. My rate is $45 an hour, $40 an hour. In 5 hours, you make $200. If you convert that to your whatever country you're coming from or whatever country you're working at, that is somebody's salary in a month that you've made in 5 hours, literally
Yeah.
just by teaching, right? So you can make, and that is on a lower level. So instead of me queuing and doing $100 at a lesson where I need to go and queue, I can pay you $45 and $50 to teach my kids how to play piano. You're making money, you're happy. My kids are learning piano in the comfort of their home. They are also happy. Win win for everybody. That's another avenue that you can explore, right? When it comes to, you know, all these other platforms that you can like check out, right? I just wanted to put that out there because a lot of people, we are not exploring teaching enough. We're not exploring teaching enough. Everybody just wants to do other things. We want to do music, but teaching, there is still money in teaching. There are a lot of people from my church that wants me to teach their kids that I don't have time for. And yes, they want to pay, and I still don't have time for it, right? So I'm just putting that out there. People want to learn. People want to teach their kids. When my daughter grows up, she's gonna learn. Sometimes I might not have time. I might have to pay some people to teach her. So yes, so explore lessons. But even beyond that, create master classes. You can do a course and create masterclass. There are people like, for example, D-Elect, right? Has masterclass on his platform, creates the course, creates a 2 hour course, right? Or a masterclass on how to play drums. And you create different genre, different styles of chops and things like that. You sell a course on your platform, right? $200 course, $100 course, whatever, right? There's another things you can Instead of doing per hour, if you don't want to do per hour, if you want to do just, I will just do a 5 hours course and everybody go and buy it. That's another avenue. You could do that. And then you can still
Yeah.
do, you know, every other time you can still come online. If you've gotten to a place where everybody knows you and you can command some other prices, now you can start charging $100 per hour to say, I'm teaching you how to do this. I'm teaching you. People do consultations with me. Currently, if you're calling me for consultation, it's $100 an hour just to book me to discuss with me about literally anything. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. Right? You can do consultations for people as well. If you are in the place where you do that. Let people book you for consultation. People ask me questions. We want to do this. We want to do this for our team. We want to do this. What can we do? I'll give them advice. I'll give them insight. Right? Consultations are also possibilities of and ways where you can also generate income if you have that. So I know we've talked a lot. We've put in so many
I
things
know,
out there,
right?
but I promise you, especially if you are in Africa, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money just by being in your house. So yeah.
Yes, so
So, is
so
there any
that's it.
questions in the chat? Let's just entertain a couple of questions before we call this a day. If you guys have questions, we still have 61 people currently online. This has been really amazing. So if you guys have
So
questions, let's drop questions. And yeah, let's if you have any questions for Haiti, if you have any questions for me as well concerning if there's anything here that we've discussed so far that is not clear. Someone says lessons are so expensive. This is Toluwani. Lessons are so expensive as someone who wasted their father's money. you know. So if anybody has any questions, uh, drop the question. Someone said, well, can't you make a website with tutorials, Moses? Yes, my brother. I literally listen. These things I'm telling you, those are some of the things I also want to do. But we are not here to hold information. I want to create master classes for people to do tutorials. People have asked me for tutorials on YouTube a lot, and I don't have the time, right? And I also want to create a master class at some point that can cover as many people who are interested in things like that. So, yes, look out for that. Once it's ready, it will be out. Yeah. So, in the absence of any question, I know some of you are still typing. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes and just see if there is any question so far to all the things we've discussed this evening, this afternoon. But I think this has been really, really, really amazing. This has, uh, provided insight into other areas for a lot of people. So there's a question here on the screen that I am seeing. I'm going to just put it up on the screen right now. Someone said, as a freelancer, how can I balance church and work? IT, I'll put that to you. Someone said, as a freelancer,
okay,
how can I balance church and work?
we may need more clarity. Is it that you are too busy? Like you have a lot of jobs to do. But even if that is the case, I think anybody that's um, if you are a service provider where you don't clock in to work, where you work based on your own time, I think one of the greatest skills you can master is time management,
Hmm.
because you cannot lose touch with your life. You cannot say because of work you won't have a life. Because of work you won't eat well. Because of work you won't you won't pay attention to your family if you have one, or be interested in building a family if you are yet to build one. Because of work you won't have friends. Because of work you won't belong to other local communities. You won't have a life. No, don't do
Hmm.
that. You may want to be able to manage your time well, um, so that you can pay attention, give all the parts of your life the attention that they really require for them to thrive.
Hmm.
So because you cannot shut down the things that make you who you are
Hmm.
because of money. Yeah, that will not be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So just plan your time well. Plan your time well. If you're a freelancer now and most of your clients are most of your clients are in another time zone,
Mm-hmm.
you may need to adjust your life. That's what I did. And
Mm,
that's what I do. That's what, like, right now it's Sunday evening. I usually start working around 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. because of the
mm,
time zone difference. But then when I sleep around that 2 a.m., I may not wake up till 9.
mm,
I may not wake up till 9 or 10, if I work that late, because it has to be balanced. I cannot I cannot if you don't balance it, the repercussions of that going forward, there might be repercussions that money won't be able to solve.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. Yeah. So again, yeah, just balance it as well. And also, like you said, right, you have to think about this like your job, right? This is your work. So if you've done any form of corporate job before at any point in time of your life, treat this like your job as well. There are times where you have a project. Let's say your client is demanding something that you need to deliver ASAP, and just like when you are at work, if there are things that you need to get done, figure out how you want to do that. If somebody else is gonna like cover for you at church sometimes, depending. Now again, find the right balance. So guys, I know you mentioned that, because just because the question is about balancing church and work, the same way you will balance church and work, when you are working a regular 9 to 5. You right, do it that way as well. Like the time that you're supposed to be at church, be at church on Sunday morning. Like if you don't put the structure together, you will just be a slave to work. So it's like on Sunday morning, you're supposed to be at church. Regardless of what your client wants, your client is either going to wait, a little bit more for you to get back from church, and then you respond and all those things like that. But again, usually there wouldn't necessarily be a reason why your client is bugging you on Sunday morning if you did not promise them Sunday morning. If you promise them Sunday morning, that's when they will be bugging you on Sunday morning when they've not seen their project. So you give right expectations at the right date and things like that, right? So yeah, let's go to another questions here. Someone says, what are the equipment needed to start freelancing? That is gadget. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you want to do on the freelancing website, right? So, depending on what you want to do, are you producing music? Are you recording? Right? IT, you can also speak to that.
Yeah, what you want to do will determine the kind of gear you will get. If you want to be doing beat making, for example, I think all you need is just your laptop. You don't even
Mm-hmm.
need the key MIDI controller.
Yep.
All you need is your laptop. Um, um, I will advise though that before you start saying you want to sell, try and know what you want to do to an
Mm-hmm.
extent. Like at least know it, know how to go around it so that you won't create a negative portfolio.
It will
Because
not
if you're,
help
if
you.
you're going on this one, if you're going on this website, your first 10 to 20 jobs, they all have to be 5 star. If
Mm,
you don't have a 5 star review on your first few jobs, your chance of success going forward is very low.
mm, mm,
Yeah. It's a very cruel system.
mm. So you will rather just
This-
say, if you are not happy with my work, I will refund you. Don't put any review. Let me refund you 100% if you are not happy with my work.
you understand?
Yeah, it's like
you know.
if you feel like you can give me 5 star, don't worry, I'm happy to refund you. It's just that period that is gonna be tough and be like, I
Yeah.
need this 5 star. I'm gonna do everything you want me to do. But if you feel like there's nothing, I'm not doing what you want, I'm happy to refund your money, and don't even bother reviewing me. So let's go to the next one here. Can you give a few tips about modulating? And God bless you. My brother, we are not doing music lesson today. Nathaniel Jonas. This one today is about music money. All right. So we'll come back some other times and we'll do lesson about modulations. Another question here
Bless
says,
you.
Moses, you mentioned having to get a pretty good laptop to start production. Here, those are super expensive. I know this might be surprising, but I would sincerely appreciate if I can get one from you. Well, like I said, you don't have to start from the top, most top, right? Start with one that fits your budget, right? I remember my very first laptop, I buy it used. I think I bought it used laptop on Facebook Market for, a few $100 or something like that. So I bought my first Mac used. It doesn't have to be brand new. Yes, I know they're expensive, but like I said at the beginning of this conversation, we said to make money, you're gonna have to spend money sometimes, and that will sometimes mean you have to invest in yourself and generate that. If I have a laptop that I can give, I don't right now. So, yep. Someone said I came late. Who is a freelancer, or should I ask Ogu? Hey, don't worry. You can just go back throughout this whole session, and you will see everything we've talked about so far. For people who are starting out, I think time management will be very important. Yes, it will be very important for you. If you can manage your time, manage yourself well, and deliver all the projects that are in front of you. Hey, D plus in the building. D
D
plus.
plus.
D plus plus plus.
D plus money.
You know what? I'm gonna text D plus a link if he has time to join us just for a few
Join
minutes,
us.
and if
Yeah.
not, that's okay. So D plus, I don't know if you can still hear me, but I'm coming to your DM right now. I know we've mentioned D plus a little bit the other time. Yeah, so D plus is also someone who understands this process very well, and he's been on this path before. Low key, just chilling. I will not say more than that. you know. Uh Please, how do I get more better on music production after finishing an online course? For me, one of the things I did, and I will let IT speak to this. One of the things I did was I was recreating other people's song, right? So I found a song. Let's say there's a beat that I like. I want to recreate every sound in that song. What did they do? I remember there was this song back in the day, Jerusalem, right? I recreated the exact beat. I found the exact sound. Dial in until I found the right kick drum, the right snare, the right clap, the right shaker that feels very close to it. So you have to practice, and the way you practice is by just taking another song that is out there and try to recreate it, right? Usually beats are easy to recreate by yourself because you don't need a guitar player, you don't need a drummer, you can recreate beats. And by recreating beats, you can now see where you are versus what is already out there. IT, do you have anything to add to that one?
Yeah, I think what you mentioned is the biggest hack to it.
Yeah.
Is the biggest hack because what that is helping you to do is it's allowing you to understand your own library. You will
Mm.
know how to go around your own library.
Library
Okay,
of
you said you
sounds.
yes, you gave an example of you looking for a particular kick. The kick you are going to eventually find might not be the same exact kick that the
They
original
used.
person, but you found a way to use what you have to achieve that sound.
Mm.
So when you do that, it will really help you to explore what you have and make maximum use of it. And another thing is going to help you to do is just like somebody that wants to write books. If you want to be a good writer, you need to be a good reader.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to have read a lot. So you want it to help you to understand vocabulary, just the way it is with music. So, and that's one of the advantages we have as church musicians because we score a lot.
Mm. Mm.
So it is that scoring, those scoring that we have been doing has been the one building us up over time without us knowing.
Yeah.
So it's just like residual knowledge. It's just building. So by the time you begin to explore your own originals or a client's job, you will just see that it's flowing because you've you've been there done that. You've practiced a lot with other established tracks. So I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest hack to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said, would you say Mac is good for music production? I think, any computer that you have is good. I don't want to, be specific about any product per se. If if Windows is what you know how to use and you already have a good Windows, there are lots and lots of DAW that you can invest in that they will work perfectly fine for you on Windows. Mac is also good if you have Mac already. Uh, Another question is, how do you save money? Because you know there is a need to take care of yourself and also build your brand and portfolio. I'm trying to understand this question. So, again, we need to just understand that this is a new area we're trying to step into. So, there's going to be a time of sacrifice where things are not going to be comfortable until things get better, right? So understand that there's a season where it will not be super comfortable. You're going out of your comfort zone to invest in things, buy gears. I remember there were times I was buying cameras and I was not making any money from anywhere, like musically to like say, oh, I was funding my studio with my money, personal money, until I was starting to make money from music. So you will have to find a way. You can always save money. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you make $10, you can save $1. All right. Find a way to save something. So yeah. Another question is, how can a church musician monetize their skills through live performances, collaboration, and social media platform without compromising their ministry and commitment? IT, do you want to speak to this?
Yeah, I mentioned something along that line, um,
Yes.
and the point I made was values. So you know the extent you can go. You know, set values. If you're a Christian and you don't want to compromise some things, set the values. These values I set is that I'm not going to do a song that is blasphemous. I'm not going to do a song that has vulgar words or promotes um, um, bad social values.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do it no matter how much you're going to pay me. If you are working with me physically, if you enter into my studio, you don't drink, you don't smoke. If you cannot work without drinking and smoking, please get out of my studio. So these are values, these are rules I put in place to ensure that my ministry commitment is not tampered with.
Mm.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, yeah. Someone else mentions here says, how did you set up your profile that it was easy for you to move from drumming to outsourcing other services?
So I didn't move. I'm still drumming now. I only added layers.
Mm,
I added layers upon gradually as I'm beginning to have the resources and both human and gear resources to
mm,
handle and skill to handle certain requests. I begin to add it that, oh, I can do this now. Hey, I can do this now. I can do this now. And every time I do that, I do a video to demonstrate what I can do. I'm just adding layers on top of it.
yeah.
So it's not like I didn't I've not stopped anything I've ever been doing. I'm still
Mm,
drumming, I'm still doing editing, I'm still doing vocal recording, and I'm still doing music production, I'm still doing mixing and mastering. I've not stopped any of it.
mm.
Of course, there's sometimes that they send me some songs and I'd be like, oh man,
Kilele.
I'm too busy for this song. Let somebody else do this one. So bring it to my table. Concern you who do them. The thing is
Mm,
just that when it get back to you, it is still my quality.
mm,
And so that is why I have a company of brilliant people and gifted people, that I have poured myself into,
mm-hmm.
that can carry out some assignments as if I'm the one carrying it out. It just comes to
Yeah.
my table, I put my finishing touch to it, and it moves. That way we can do a lot. Because when I'm telling you that we've done about 4,000 projects,
There's not
it
one
looks
person.
unbelievable, but it is not one person.
Mm,
So it is possible.
yeah.
And we have a target this year to actually double what we did last year.
Mm,
Yeah. So which means that we might get to a point where we'll be adding more people so that we can meet up with our
with the
targets.
goal. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So the another question here is, as a worship singer, apart from church and concert, can you guys elaborate some tips on how to generate some income online? I think we've done some of that
You
already.
mentioned, yeah,
Yeah.
as a worship
As a
singer,
singer, as a singer.
there are many
I think
things you can do now.
there are things you can.
There are many things you can do. You can all these services we're talking about. You can also provide those services online. or work with somebody that is providing those services online.
You
You
can
know,
record
I have seen,
BGVs, right?
yes, I
You
have,
know,
I have, I have, I have singers on my team. So, and everybody's fine. Everybody's
I've heard of
fine.
producers that have gone on Fiverr just to look for a singer to record a certain line on a
Yes,
song,
yes,
just because they're looking for a certain texture of singer and something like that, right? So you can
yeah,
also offer services online. You can teach people how to sing if you have a really good voice and you know how to do vocal coaching for people, right? I know not everybody that know how to sing can coach people vocally. You can also be a vocal coach. That is a very strong area that a lot of people are willing to learn how to do that. So you can be a vocal coach to a lot of people and have online conversations and sessions with them on a regular basis. You can have your own student that you can coach vocally, right? So yeah, that's other thing. Someone says, which app are we using to talk? Right now, I'm using the app called Ecam to speak, and it's really nice. Um, okay, so High Tea mastered that track Hallelujah by Nobuji. Someone made that comment.
yeah. I was on the master the Hallelujah chant, no, Nobuji's Hallelujah chant.
Oh yeah, that was an amazing song. That was an amazing
Yeah,
song. Yeah. So I think your company did BGVs on it too.
yeah, we did BGVs. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw the credit on that. Yes. Yeah. That was really amazing. That's an amazing song. I love it. The question here: how can I start working in the music sector if I don't have a piano around? There are other things you could do if you are not a piano player, but I would need a little more information from about what you do for me to, I guess, provide some kind of answer. Uh, yeah, to work in the music sector, you can be in A&R, you can be in other things. If you are not a musician at all, right? You can be in other things. You can be in promotion. Promotion and marketing is another big deal that we as musicians we don't like doing. We don't necessarily like doing promotions. If you're the kind of person that you are very, outgoing, you're very like out there, you know how to put yourself out there, you know how to like talk about things and push things and promote. Promotion and marketing is something we don't know how to do, and if you know how to do it, you're going to make a lot of money. There are some people out there now that they are not musicians. They build social media platforms and they call it uh some people label their channels gospel music promotion or things like that. And you DM them
yeah.
their project, you pay them because they have
You pay
followers.
them.
They will help you promote your song. And some of them they don't even know how to sing, but because they've built that platform and they have followership and things like that, they are doing gospel music production for a lot of artists and a lot of growing artists, and they are making money from that. So if that's something that is interesting to you, you can look at something like that as well. uh, how do you focus on your ministry with your skills without limiting other scope of your life, like family, work, relationship, and other people, while you look into getting income from making music? How do you focus on your ministry with your skills without limiting other scope? It's just balance. There's almost no other way to put
There's
this.
balance. Yeah,
Yeah, you have to find balance, and then you have to grow on your own pace as well, right? Go grow on your own pace and find the right balance. So that's one thing I would say about that. Uh, someone says this is not a question. Today's years old that I know that you mastered Nobuji's chant. So
I
IT,
think
that's
I know
really
what
good.
he's saying.
Uh, Someone said, "Hey, Moses Joshua, how about getting into film scoring?" Yes, we already talked about that, right? Film scoring, sync
Sync
licensing,
placement.
advertising, jingles, promotions. Yes, you can get into all of that. Those are opportunities. We've already covered all of that. So thank you for all these questions, guys. Thank you. We've been here for 2 hours already. Unbelievable. IT,
Yeah.
I am so grateful for
Thank
the
you.
time to come and share all these things with us. And this is something that a lot of people don't want to talk about because they want to keep it to themselves. And you were so kind to just pour it all out and give us all this expo. We're so grateful. Thank you so, so much. And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
hoping
Thank
that
you for
some of the
having me.
people that have joined this live, and the people that will hopefully watch this video later, they can stop all this argument and fight and like just go out there and do the uncomfortable and get better and make more
Yes,
money.
sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So anything else you want to add before we close this out?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for this. And like I said at the beginning, what you're doing is really profound, and it's a privilege to be a part of it. Um, I just want to say again to everyone that is on this call that the only limitation you have is what you call it. Whatever you tell yourself is the limit, that is the limit. You can be anything you want to be. You can be anything you want to be. So if I were you, I will really, you know, have big dreams. I have big dreams. I will expand my network, expand my knowledge base, teach myself how to research. I won't stop and limit myself to what the society is telling me that I can be. So thank you, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors in everything you do, and that God's grace will make things easier for you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, we're just gonna be ending and closing this one out for today. And we'll be back some other time for some other for some other platform, for some other topics that we'll be discussing at some time. Next week, maybe. I'm not sure. No, I don't think we have a session next week. So yeah, so get ready. We'll see. And I will announce it whenever the next episode is going to be. So thank you, everybody. IT again. I'm so grateful. I appreciate it. All right. Peace out,
Thank you, sir.
everybody. God bless you. Thank you.